What's going on, everyone? This is Mitch with SC Weather. Hope y'all been having a great Thursday as we get closer to the weekend. Thank God here. So we're going to break down some things weather-wise as usual, and we're going to talk about the potential for the uptick in thunderstorm activity, potential for severe weather. Nothing really to get detailed about, but we're going to talk about a time period that I'm thinking that really could jumpstart our potential for our first maybe severe weather event for areas of the eastern U.S. Just a time frame. We're not going to get into details because we don't know details because this time frame is still 5-6 days out. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to break down. A lot of people have been requesting when it's going to be okay for them to plant. So I'm going to give you a temperature outlook and why I really think you guys need to hold off until early April. I know it's hard because trust me, I love getting out in the yard, and I take making my yard look great serious. I'm one of them person. I wouldn't say I'm one of them get out my lawn people, but I definitely take my lawn serious, and I like to stripe it up and plant flowers and things like that. So I'm with you guys. I'm ready for consistent warm weather and no frost, no freeze. So we're going to talk about that too. Here in the southeast, obviously the northeast, you guys in the mid-Atlantic watching, it's a different ball game up there. Y'all can get a freeze all the way through early part of May. But we're going to break everything down. If you guys have not subscribed, consider doing that. The weather is kind of slow right now, but I anticipate for it to pick up here in the next several days. So thank you for tuning in. Consider liking the video, subscribing. Now let's get going here. So we're going to start off usually how we always do by looking at the GFS. So what we got going on here is we're about to get this cutoff low that's about to dump a ton of snow on the Front Range into southeast Wyoming, western Nebraska. This is, models have been showing some crazy model runs of multiple feet of snow, 60 to 70 inches. The thing is, guys, is the models have stayed consistent. They have not backed off as far as the operational runs. The ensembles are still showing 2 to 3 to 4 feet. So this is serious. This is actually, someone's going to get several feet of snow. I mean, not several inches, several feet. It's incredible. This storm is a big-time storm. This is just a classic March snowstorm for them guys in Colorado for sure. But this system gets going. I was watching this area in Virginia, the mid-Atlantic, for a cold air damming event. It has since now kind of trended warm and trended away from it. Thank goodness, because honestly what that would mean for a lot of areas in the Carolinas, even the upstate of South Carolina, is a cold rain for Tuesday, Monday night. So we don't want that. But this little cutoff low gets going. It kind of gets merges with the northern stream and becomes our first big-time rainmaker event, maybe snow for areas in the far northeast. For the eastern U.S. in general, this will be our first rain in 2 weeks for some folks as we get into Tuesday of next week. So, but this is still something we're going to watch. This is something that could bring us severe weather, potentially, or just some rain. But we're going to break down what we know. And here comes another system, and we have to watch this one too. And we have to watch cold air behind this. There's still the chance for mid to late month for it to get chillier for the month of March. But here we go. We're getting into Monday. Now check it out. This is CAPE. This is basically instability. It's basically storm fuel. It's a component that you need for thunderstorm activity and the potential for severe weather. CAPE, it's just fuel for thunderstorms. Now you have values as you're getting into Monday PM according to the GFS of over 1,000, getting up over 2,000 for areas of Louisiana. There's actually a risk of, I think there's already kind of a area around this off the Storm Prediction Center kind of noting that this is going to be an area to watch for Monday. I think some storm chasers are already trying to chase this area, even though this is a tough area to chase because there's a lot of trees and stuff. But this is CAPE, so we're going to watch it. What happens as this system moves east, according to the GFS, the CAPE kind of fizzles out. But it rebuilds here as you get midweek next week, and that is a big plume of convective energy here that really gets fired up, and you have to watch out here. But notice it doesn't get that far. It doesn't get that far north, especially. So we'll watch this. So look at the European, and it's a little bit different. Obviously shows the big-time snowstorm for them guys out in Colorado, Wyoming, and Nebraska. This storm moves over, and we have to watch this area. This shows the same system, about the same time frame pretty much, maybe a difference by several hours. But and then there's another system behind it. Now, you're not going to get into short-range modeling, so you're not going to get detailed looks at individual storms or anything on the Euro or GFS. It's because they're not short-range modeling. But what you do get is it has that look to it, to me, of some kind of linear system, meaning there could be some kind of line of storms depending on what components do you need for the severe weather is going to be available. Are you going to have some moist air? Are you going to have some CAPE? What about shear? We're going to talk about what it's showing now. So this is what the CAPE's showing as far as the European. CAPE is what you need. You don't have to have it, but what you definitely need it for, at least a little bit of it, to get some kind of thunderstorm activity. And for a lot of people who are ready to hear them spring, summertime storms, you're going to need this. But check it out. This is going to be pretty hard to see on your screen, but same thing that the GFS was showing. This is CAPE values of over 1,500, 2,000 as you're getting into Louisiana and parts of Mississippi as you're getting to Tuesday evening. This might be a severe weather event for you guys in the Deep South. So if you live in Louisiana, areas of eastern Texas, Mississippi, watch out as you get in the early part of next week. This has the potential to be a severe weather event. I'm not talking about a tornado outbreak. We don't know those kind of details right now, but it's getting to that time of year. It's been relatively quiet. Normally February, we have some severe weather here in the southeast, but it has not been the case. But check it out as you get into Wednesday. It definitely has a little bit more energy, a little bit further north and east. So how long will this hold intact? Not sure, but obviously it fizzles out as you get to the latter part of the week. Say last night, a lot of this was showing for Friday, but it has moved up in time a little bit. So there is definitely some potential next week for some severe weather across the southeast and deep south. Now, these are dew points. I'm telling you, I know you guys in South Carolina who live near Waltersboro, Charleston. If you're listening from this area, one thing to note that we had that big time tornado down there, that F4 tornado that slammed down there the morning after Easter. The soundings for that, you had a lot of moist air in place. You had high dew points. You had dew points in the low 70s in mid-April. That's pretty high for mid-April. That's something you don't see consistently until about June here in the southeast. But check it out here. This is the same. This is the European. Check it out. This is a big trough coming. I'm not sure how much cold air, and these are dew points, guys, not temperature. So it's not 10 degrees in Oklahoma City. This is dew points. This is how moist or how dry the air is. So look at the dew points surging ahead of this front as you get a southerly, southwesterly flow ahead of the front, like you always do ahead of fronts. And you have dew points creeping to near 70 here along the Gulf Coast, and you have dew points in the 60s as you get into Georgia and the Carolinas. That is good enough for severe weather. And until that dry air moves in and really stabilizes the atmosphere, you're going to have some kind of risk of severe storms next week across the Gulf. I really do think so. You look at shear. Shear is a big-time component you need to, see tornadic activity. The shear during this event, it's not very high where the severe weather may be, but we'll watch that. That's just one component. So as far as you guys wondering about temperatures, let's look at the precipitation here. This goes all the way out into this Saturday. Check it out. It's not going to stay dry forever, so don't think it is. As you get into maybe next Saturday, this is the GEFS, so the precipitation average here. Obviously, it shows a few inches, so it's definitely going to get wet again, guys. So keep that in mind. It's not going to stay dry forever. I know I've enjoyed the drier weather, but if you look at the temperatures, let's back it up here. We're getting into this weekend. So this weekend, you got to watch for a little bit of cold air damming influence right here. But this weekend's going to be beautiful across much of the South. Now, it's going to be nippy. It's still going to be pretty mild compared to average for even areas of the Mid-Atlantic and areas in the Northeast. But, we're going to watch this. It's going to be interesting to see temperatures, because I think temperatures next week are going to be a huge deal. If you want severe weather in the Deep South, and look at here, it stays relatively warm to mild across the South. I think there's going to be a battle of air masses potentially here in the Carolinas and Virginia. So we're going to watch to see how that affects severe weather. Sometimes a cold air damming can set up right here, And when you have two differences of air masses, what basically you have happen is you have a northeast flow of wind coming out the northeast, and then you have winds coming out the west. So what happens is you get this to occur. When you get this to occur, it causes a spin in the atmosphere. When you have a spin in the atmosphere, you have the potential for spin-ups. So it's just something to watch around the CAD boundary. And here it is. Here's a CAD boundary right here. You have cold air damming setting up. Do you have some kind of storms? So you have 80s down in the low country of South Carolina. You have the 50s in the upstate of South Carolina. So that's just a good example of it. So and then you have some kind of cutoff low up here bringing its own cold air. But I really think there's going to be some kind of severe weather across the south. What that is, how it's going to unfold, we will not know probably until we get deeper into this weekend coming up. But I do want to, make y'all aware we're getting into severe weather season, and things are going to start beginning to get active again. There's going to be slower times, but eventually when we get into April and May, La Nina is going to show its true colors, and climate's going to win, and we're going to get some severe weather across the deep south and southeast for sure, and even mid-Atlantic. So stay tuned. I'm going to have to keep y'all updated. And sorry about the later video tonight. I had actually attended an advanced spotter class for National Weather Service in Katy. So I attended that, gained a little bit more knowledge, and got a little bit better. So thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all have an awesome night.